All right, let's dive into this mini PC that I got here for my mother. Her laptop is probably the better part of 10 years old. It will not support Windows 11, so we're going to get her this mini PC set up and make sure everything's working on it good as it should. And this is nothing special, but let's take a look at it because this thing was only $150. So, oh, stay right there. All right, you will have to excuse my cold. I'm still dealing with a cold, so I'm probably going to be coughing, hacking up, falling on the floor, doing something. But what we got here is a mini PC. This is by acemagic. This is the Visa Mini PC V1 version 1. And this thing has 512 gigabytes of storage, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and you can put more in it if you want, but she doesn't need it, so we're going to leave it as is. This has, as far as the CPU goes, this is the N150, so it's a little bit better than the N95 or, the N97, so the previous models are the N105. So just slightly better. And but anyway, we'll get into this. It has a very small power supply that you just plug into the wall, and there's no brick or anything. It runs off of 12 volts. So very, very low power consumption. She just needs it for YouTube, email, and billing. That's it. So this will work out perfect. So let's get this thing out of the box. All right, so let's take a look at this acemagic mini PC here. It just has a little thing here you got to pull off. On the back of this, it does tell you what you got as far as the gigabytes and the storage. So we got 16 gigabytes and 512. So that's all that is on there. And here's the box. Let's see what we get in it. You get a little user's manual if you want to reference that. Right up top here, this is how it comes packaged. You can see I didn't even take the plastic off yet. We also get some cabling. Here is a mount for the back. You can mount it to the back of a monitor or a TV. We get an HDMI cable and a set of screws for the mount. And also in the box, we get our power supply, which was for some reason out of the wrapper. And that's it. So basically that just gets plugged into the PC. This gets plugged into the wall or an outlet strip, and away you go. Because on the back of here, it does say output 12 volts, 2.5 amp, 30 watts. That is the max that this thing will consume, is only 30 watts. Okay, let's set this stuff aside. Let's take a look at this. We'll get this thing unwrapped here. And this is the front of your PC right there. We have our on and off button. Looks like a little LED spot right there. Two USB 3.2 ports right there. And we get our headphone and audio jack combination. On both of the sides is just ventilation along with the bottom. And you can also see there you do have your holes that are threaded for that bracket. But again, this is all ventilation. Under here, under these feet, you'd have to take them off, which kind of sucks, I have to say. But you do have to take those off in order to access the screws to take this apart if you wanted to change out the RAM or the SSD in here. This will support M.2 SATA or NVMe. This is the back, the business end of it. We have our power in, two USB 2.0 ports. We do have a HDMI, that's a 1.4, and we have a display port. And right here we have a Ethernet, a 1 gigabit Ethernet port right there. And this does come with a, looks like a Kensington lock situation right there. So you can lock it if you buy that separately. Let's give this a try here. So it does have a little light right there. Oh, you can just see it. And right there we go. A little bit of a reflection going on there for you. So that'll help you and it'll help me because I'm not screen capturing this. This should get into a screen where basically you get a brand new PC and you're setting it up for the first time. So we're just looking for that. We're going to get through that. Now you have seen me do that before in the past. I'll probably skip through that just to get into the desktop. And then we'll take a look at this and see if there's any bloatware on it and kind of go from there. Okay, so I'm at the point where it's going to be loading into the desktop, if I can get my words out. And I just wanted to notice that silent. I don't know if the fan's even running, to be honest. Maybe it's not hot enough yet, but there's zero noise coming from that. Now, it's kind of to be expected it's going to be very quiet because it is, the CPU is not a hot processor, or CPU, but the cores on it, I forgot to mention, this is a 4-core, 4-thread, so it's very basic, just bare bones, nothing crazy going on, but yeah, very quiet, very nice so far. All right, so we are at the desktop now. This is also running Windows 11 Pro. Obviously, because the time I'm making this, Windows 10 support has ended. That was as of, I think, yesterday or day before. So yeah, no more Windows 10 talk. That's it. You can get the extended support, but anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, so what we got here is something very basic. First off, we got to do updates. We could check for bloatware first. Let's go into the apps and, I'll get you zoomed in here so you can see. All right, I do apologize. We're not doing a screen recording or anything like that. It's just how it's going to be. All right, so see, there's nothing going on here. We do not have internet right now. I could hook it up to the Wi-Fi, but we're not. That is going to be hooked up to the Wi-Fi over her place. And we are going to look at the apps that are installed right here. And we're just gonna go through these and see if there's anything that's notable to remove. And everything so far looks okay. Yeah, I don't see anything. I mean, we could remove this Xbox. She's not going to be removing Xbox. We can uninstall that. The Xbox Live, we can uninstall that. Those are the only two things that I really feel that can come out. Excuse me. Yep. Okay. So at this point, what we're going to do is I'm going to just, off the camera here, I'm going to plug the Ethernet cable. I can even kind of show you. We're going to plug this in. All right. Oh, wrong way. We're going to get that plugged in. We should have, we got some status lights blinking there. So we should, it already did. It already hooked up to the internet. So now we're going to go back into settings. We're going to go into Windows updates. Check for updates. We can see right there, it had the 512 gigabyte, but there's some overhead there that it doesn't calculate, but it's the same. It's the same. So look at all the updates it's got to go through right now. We're going to let this do its thing, and we'll be back as soon as this stuff is complete. Okay, maybe it's me being impatient, but this thing has been sitting at 4% for probably about 15 minutes now. I'm not liking that, so I can't click on install. I can, click on anything else, so the computer's not locked up. But I don't like that it's doing that, so we're going to go ahead and just restart now anyway, and see if that takes care of the problem. Now, it does say updates are underway. It might have been from one of the other updates that it did do, but this was an accumulative uh, Windows 11 24H2 update. So I don't know if it completed and it was stuck at 4% for some reason, or has to do with some other update. But we'll let this update and then we'll get back into it and do the rest of the updates. Houston, we have a problem. This has been going on for about 5 or 6 minutes with no change. It's not really normal. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this, but oh, do we have something now? Did it just reboot? A lot of stuff isn't being normal right now. Come on, acemagic. You could do better than this. So you would think that it would have... Okay, that came back. So I think somehow it went to sleep because I just moved the mouse. So I'll give this another few minutes. And then after that, I'm going to power it off. We're going to power it back on. See if anything is better. If not, I may have to re-image this whole thing. And, oh my gosh. Okay, so it's been about 2 or 3 more minutes. It's still doing the same thing. I think, I can still see the mouse. And normally you can't see a mouse when it's doing the update like this. So something funky happened. I'm not too sure what it is, but we're going to hold in on the power button here. We're going to shut this down. I'll even go so far as to remove the actual power. Give it about 10, 15 seconds here. And we'll plug it back in. We'll see if it does the same thing. Like I said, if it does do the same thing, looks like we're going to be reinstalling Windows. Beyond that, it may be a corrupt drive. I don't know. And maybe I'll have to replace the drive or something. But in that case, I might just send this back because I only got this less than a week ago. And I'm still within Amazon's warranty, or return policy. So it's a little bit better sign that we're seeing that splash screen first, and it's not doing any updates. But it's going right back to the updates. All right, I'm going to keep this for 10 minutes now, and then wait a minute. Look at that. All right, cool. So I don't know. There might have been some sort of an issue, or there is that chance that I was too impatient from waiting. But normally you don't see the cursor going all over the place. All right, let's go back to the settings and the Windows updates. And so right now it's downloading automatically. So this is the cumulative update again. It's trying to download it again. We're just going to click install all. Let's see where it goes from here. Hopefully it'll download perfectly fine. I'll let you know in a second. Okay, so it has been doing this for almost 20 minutes now. We know that it's not an issue with it just taking a long time. For some reason, it doesn't like the update. So we're going to try a couple of different things and see if they'll work. So let's hopefully get back into Windows. Okay, so we are back into Windows right now. We're going to go into Settings. we're going to go into looking for it. Why do I not see? Oh, system. And then we want to go into troubleshooting or troubleshoot, other troubleshooting, and then Windows update. We're going to run this, see if it does anything. There was a problem reaching the app. Huh. Okay, that is very interesting. So let's go. So right here, it's trying to download it again. So I'm going to try one last thing here. We're going to do a right click. Actually, you know what? We'll just type it in here, CMD. And then we're going to do command prompt. Do a right click, run as administrator. Yes. And I had to write this down because I can't remember. But we're going to type in net stop and WUU. Whoops. Okay, that just basically that command stopped the actual updating, or it's stopping it. It's trying to stop it. And hopefully once that's complete, I got another command to put in, but it's looking like there's a bigger issue here that I may have to just reformat the drive and put brand new Windows on it. But instead of using this, I will probably use one of my drives. Is what I'm thinking. Because this is still not working. It's not stopping it. So I'm going to unplug the Ethernet, see if that helps. Okay, so that apparently is not working. We're going to try another restart without the Ethernet plugged in and see what we can do there. Okay, so what I've decided is to take this thing apart, put my own drive in it, load Windows, and see if that works. If that works, maybe or maybe I won't try with the other drive, because I don't want to mess up the operating system on this before I figure out what's going on and have to send this back. So what we're going to do is just remove these feet, which is so dumb because they don't give you new ones and you got to try to keep them sticky. But we're going to remove these. And I don't know if I have a screwdriver right here, but we'll check it out here in a second. I think this might be, yep, too big. All right. Be right back. All right. We got our little Hoto kit here with the electric screwdriver. Figured maybe it'd be a little easier. See what fits the best. That fits pretty good. You got to check this kit out. It's pretty nice. Unbelievable. A brand new unit. I'm taking it apart for a possible corrupt drive. I mean, I really don't know that, but why would Windows Update just stop? Unless there's a problem with Windows Update, but I doubt it. All right, let's see how this thing comes apart here. Take out our USB in case that's an issue. Okay. Got the front. We got to be careful because the antenna for the Wi-Fi is still attached. So we could probably, let's see if we can just leave it attached. That way I don't have to take anything apart. There's a drive in here. I have no clue. Rayson. It's Rayson. Never heard of it. Maybe it's common, but I've never heard of it. So let's take this M.2 out. And I don't know if this M.2 is SATA or what it is because I never tested it. But we're going to take this out. I have a couple different options here. I have a Sabrent I think I'm going to put in there. I also have an older Western Digital. I do have a SATA drive that we could put in there. It's really probably going to be plenty fast enough for her. This one would create more heat because this one is a 1 terabyte or 500 gig blue. What do I want to do? I think this is a Gen 3, so it's not going to get as hot as a Gen 4, but look at that. I'll bet you $1. Yep. So this is a SATA drive that they put in this. So we're going to go ahead and just put a SATA drive in there. And that way it kind of stays the same. We keep it cheap. And we can also tell that this is where the RAM lies also. We also have our battery. But, yep, so that's it. So I'm going to just put this back on. Somehow. Somehow. I'm not going to put the screws back in just yet in case we got to rip it back apart. But we're going to give this thing power again. Plug that into there. Plug that in. Give this thing a go. And then we're going to hit the delete key. Because this time we do need to get into the BIOS. Hopefully. Okay, it's not getting into the BIOS. Oh, dummy. I forgot to put this in. But that's a good thing right there. I didn't even have to do it, but that is a good thing. There's nothing, that means there's nothing on that's bootable. Hopefully it works. But I'm going to go through this and get this all going here and get Windows loaded up. We're going to install Windows 11 Pro. And then I do have to leave to go pick up my fiance because we're down to one vehicle. Hers is in the repair shop. So while this is doing this and probably loading and all that, I'm probably going to have to take off in about 20 minutes. So by the time I'm going to be able to record again. And we see disk 0. So disk 0 is, I have it drive A as a backup. So that's definitely the one we're going to be deleting. And so that one's gone. Unallocated space, 500 gigabyte. That is the one at the very top right now. I know you can't see it, but all the rest of them have to do with this drive right here. I don't know what this is. That's unallocated. Oh, that's disk 1 anyway. We want disk 0. So now we're going to go to next. And then install. So now Windows is being copied from this drive right here, this thumb drive, over to the M.2 SATA drive that we just installed. That's a Western Digital SATA drive, by the way. So we're at 11%. This is definitely where I'm going to cut it off, and I'll get back to you as soon as I get back here. So stay right there. Well, would you look at that? And we're talking only about 10, maybe 15 minutes. I wasn't really watching the time, but I was just sitting and just scrolling through my phone. And we are at 95% of installing now, when before we were only at what, 4%, and then we saw 0%. Well, 4% when we started. That was just the downloading phase. It never got past 4%. And then when I rebooted it, it only said 0%. Now we're at 96% of the install. So the install comes obviously after the download. So we're just waiting for this to complete. Then it's probably going to require a reboot, and we will get situated there. This is awesome. It seems like this has possibly fixed the issue, is just reinstalling. I don't know if reinstalling Windows fixed the issue or it was a M.2 issue. We could do some other testing with I do have a spare motherboard. We could test this out and see if there's an issue still with this. But I don't know if if that motherboard, I can do SATA with it. So anyway, doesn't matter. There we go. So it's pending a restart right now. We're going to go ahead and do that. That was perfect timing. This thing's been running for like 2.5 hours straight, but it's been doing, all kinds of stuff. And there we go. Now this is much better. Now we get an update percentage on the screen, which remember before, I know it was at 4% and then I rebooted it, but it said it was updating, but it wasn't really doing anything. So it was either corrupt software or it was bad drive. One of the two. But come on, acemagic. Oh well, what are you gonna do? I probably got a bad one. I don't know, you know, if you're a home user, you're probably not gonna have all these spare M.2s and SATA drives to play with, or maybe even the knowledge to take this apart and do what I'm doing, let alone installing Windows. So as soon as this gets updated back in, we're gonna check for updates again, get all that set, then check our device manager, make sure we're not missing any drives. If we are, we may have to pull them either from the website, or we may have to install like Intel Assist and install them that way. But we'll see in just a few minutes. So as the updates are near 100%, I was just looking up this Ryzen M.2 SATA. It looks like it's legit online, but it's not very popular. It's a Chinese or something. You can't find it on Amazon anywhere, but online it does look like people are selling them, and I don't know, not something I would buy. Yeah, I think with the heat that's being generated from this, I don't think a Gen 3 or a Gen 4 would be proper to put in here. I think a SATA drive is actually good, even though they don't make them that much anymore. A SATA M.2, that is. So, okay, we're back into Windows here. Let's go ahead and check the updates again. See if we're missing anything else. Matter of fact, we can check the device manager. Let's just see if anything's missing in there right now. And we are missing a couple things: a network controller and unknown device. So let's do, okay, cumulative worked. Let's retry. It's saying the Intel Corporation display driver, for some reason it can't install it. So we're trying it again. Okay, now it's good. Now we're going to check down here for advanced options. And it says we have optional updates. It does say that we have two drivers. So we do have a display driver. And then we have the Realtek Net. So that would be our network driver. So it's probably a Realtek. So we're going to do that. I'm not going to do the display yet. I don't even know if we need it, to be honest. Let's go ahead and check the device manager again. That one's already complete. Excuse me. And we probably have to reboot for that to really take effect here, but we can do Oh, let's see here. Okay, so we want to do display adapters, driver. That's 320101. That's 740, and the one in here disappeared on me is 6987. So this is a newer driver. So let's just go ahead and install that since it's newer. This should just take a moment. But that's how you can kind of check. You need to check to see if it's newer. Otherwise, there's no point in installing it. Okay, downloading is 100%. We're just waiting for installation. The screen will probably go blank or black, and then the new driver should take over. So it's installing now. We're still at 0% though. This is kind of a slow video right here, and it's going to be a little lengthy, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm not looking for perfection in my videos. I'm looking for, more correct information and just enjoy my time doing this. Because I don't want this to have a problem when I deliver this to my mother. I want to just be able to plug it in, and then she's good to go. So this is taking a little bit of time. We're just kind of waiting around for this. There we go. It just went blank, as you saw. Went blank again. All right. And then we can double click on this and we can see actually it did update to the 740. So that's good. I don't know what's going on with the network controller, but we'll do another check just to be sure. And it looks like we are up to date there. We're going to go ahead and reboot just to make sure that the network driver did get installed properly. If it didn't, that's okay. We can go and then install Intel Assistant software or go to the main web page for this and download all the drivers. Okay, we're back up and running. Let's go ahead and check Device Manager once again. And we're still missing it, so it looks like I'm going to have to download the driver itself. And so we can figure that out. I'm wondering if it's that's what we're missing is the Wi-Fi driver. So let's see if we can just go right on here on the site and we'll open up that. We're going to continue without. And then I'm going to do this. And what we want is acemagic. And the way I got to it before on my main PC, well, let's just do, this is acemagic V1 driver. All right, so looks like it's our first one. There we go. This is a bunch of ones. We want to go to support right up here. Oops. And then as we hover over support, we got download our drivers and downloads. And then what we're looking for is the V1 driver. So we're going to go ahead and download that. And we're going to download anyway. It's just saying that it could be unsafe, but I know I'm downloading from the correct website. There we go. All right, so that's done. Now we're going to go and open up our File Explorer, our downloads, the zip folder. So we're going to do a right click. We're going to extract all. And we're going to extract it right back into the same folder. And this is going to take a little longer. The processor in here isn't the best. When I did this over on my PC, it took a matter of, I don't know, 5 seconds, 8 seconds. But, this is going to be a little bit slower. But that's okay if you're not looking to do all this kind of stuff. You're looking to do exactly what she's doing. YouTube, emailing, billing, anything like that. It'll load sites perfectly fine. Okay, so now we're going to open up this main folder, and we have installed drivers. So what I think I want to do is, see, now this has got the Wi-Fi. I think it's only got one Wi-Fi driver. Yep. So we're going to open up that. And I don't know if we can execute it from in here. It doesn't look like it. I think I'm going to have to try and point to it. So we're going to do another right click, device manager. We're going to network controllers. So we're going to double click on that. And then, excuse me. We are going to browse our downloads. I thought it would be in here. Oh, there we go. I think right there. I think that's it. I thought I could point to that one. There we go. So I pointed to it wrong. Instead of pointing to the actual, I'll kind of show you here. I know it's not real close, but I'll show you that when we were in here, we have install drivers, which is executable. And I don't know if it installs all of them over again, or you can pick. But then the next one is the x64. That's what you have to point to, is just that folder. But within that folder is all the other drivers. So the only one we had to point to is the x64. That's where I went wrong. And now that one's installed. We should have our Wi-Fi. So we click down here. Yep, now our Wi-Fi is, in fact, right there. And we can look at all our SSIDs right now. Okay, so the next thing what I want to do is, since we're all just right here, we're going to plug my utilities back in. I need to get the crystal disk info and mark back on there, so we can go ahead and do a check on that. And crystal disk mark, crystal disk info. Now we can go ahead and get rid of this, get rid of that. And we're going to do the info first. So right here we have our 500 gigabyte hard drive, powered on only 32 times. It only has power on hours of 239 hours. So everything is 100% right there. We are good to go. Now let's check our crystal disk mark right here. We're just going to do quick speed test. And we're just going to do the top section, but we're expecting somewhere around 450 to 550. Those would be ideal for both the read and the write. The write may be a little slower. Look at that, at 557. That's better than I expected. Excellent. And now we're doing the rights. So just give this a minute. And we should have our answer. Okay. So yeah, the rights are typically slower, but this is not uncommon, and look at that. It's even going up more. So yeah, look at that, 511. Okay, so I do like that, and I will do a screenshot of that, and then I'll save that. So we just we can do paint or the snippet, but we can do paint. Paint's installed. We just do a quick get rid of these, and actually I'm not going to do it on paint. We'll just do it on snippet. And then we're going to save this right to the desktop. With crystal disk mark. And I'll put the date of 10/16/25. There we go. All right. Excellent. Very happy we can get rid of these things. Anything in the recycle bin we can also get rid of when we're getting a PC ready. And we can also actually, you know what I do have is the Uncle Carrie's Windows 10 optimizer, even though it's Windows 10. We do that. Apply all. This shouldn't take very long. I'm just doing a few things. It also added this right here to the screen. And then we have to download Google Chrome. We also have to download VLC Player. All right. Now I have to restart for it to take effect. All right, so that's pretty much it. I do have to throw these screws back in. And we also, I have to download, like I said, VLC Player. I have to download Google Chrome. And then from there, there's not much else I'm going to be doing. She's going to have to put all of her stuff that she wants on it, transfer any files from the old computer over, just basically pictures or something like that. But yeah. Anyway, I want to put this thing back together, put the feet back on it. Call it a day. We're going to do another video and test this thing out. See if it's dead or partially working or something. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. It's a good little PC now since I fixed it. Till next time, take care.